Stormy beginning. It was a cold winter night in the small village of Woolsthorpe, Lincolnshire, England on January 4, 1643 Old Calendar, December 25, 1642. The world was at war, England was in the middle of a civil conflict. But in a small stone farmhouse a frail and tiny baby was born, so small that people whispered he might not live through the night. His mother, Hannah Icecoff Newton, named him Isaac. His father had died before he was born, and his mother would soon remarry, leaving young Isaac in the care of his grandmother. He grew up shy, quiet, and often lonely, but with an endless curiosity for how the world worked. The boy who loved to build. Isaac was not an ordinary child. He built windmills powered by mice, water clocks that told time using dripping water, and even tiny mechanical toys. But in school he was not the best at first until one day a boy bullied him. Isaac decided he would beat him at everything, and soon he rose to the top of his class. His competitive spirit became a driving force for the rest of his life. From farm to university. When Isaac was a teenager, his mother pulled him out of school so he could work on the family farm. But farming bored him. He would often be found reading under a tree instead of plowing fields. His uncle recognized his potential and convinced his mother to send him back to school. Eventually, Newton made it to Trinity College, Cambridge in 1661. There, he studied the ideas of great scientists like Galileo, Kepler, and Descartes. But Isaac didn't just learn, he started questioning everything. The year the world stopped. In 1665, a plague swept through England, forcing Cambridge University to close. Newton returned to Woolsthorpe, and for the next 2 years he entered what historians call his annus mirabilis, his miracle years. Here, away from professors and lectures, Newton made some of the greatest discoveries in the history of science. Calculus, the mathematics of change. The laws of motion. The law of universal gravitation. Major breakthroughs in optics, light, and color. The apple story. One afternoon, Newton sat in his mother's orchard. He noticed an apple fall from a tree. It didn't float, it didn't drift sideways, it fell straight down to the ground. Most people would simply eat the apple, but Newton's mind asked, why does it fall down? Does the earth pull it? Could the same force pull the moon around the earth? This thought was revolutionary. Newton began to suspect that the same invisible force pulling the apple was also keeping the moon in orbit. This would become his law of universal gravitation. Every object in the universe attracts every other object, and the strength of that attraction depends on their masses and the distance between them. 1687, the book that changed everything. After years of refining his theories, Newton published Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, the mathematical principles of natural philosophy, in 1687. This was no ordinary book, it was the blueprint of the physical universe. Inside he explained. 1. The 3 laws of motion. First law, objects stay at rest or keep moving in a straight line unless acted on by a force. Second law, force equals mass times acceleration, F equals ma. Third law, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. 2. Universal gravitation. Every particle in the universe attracts every other particle. 3. Mathematical tools to predict the movement of planets, moons, and even comets. This book made him one of the most influential scientists in history. The master of many fields. Newton wasn't just a physicist, he was a mathematician, an astronomer, an inventor, a philosopher, even a master of the Royal Mint, where he hunted counterfeiters. The later years. Newton became a national hero. He was knighted by Queen Anne in 1705, becoming Sir Isaac Newton. But he also had rivalries, most famously with German mathematician Gottfried Leibniz over who invented calculus first. In his final years, he lived comfortably in London, still curious, still learning. He died in 1727 and was buried with honor in Westminster Abbey alongside kings and queens. The legacy. Isaac Newton's discoveries became the foundation of modern science. His laws explained the motion of planets and falling apples alike, uniting heaven and earth under one set of rules. For over 200 years, his laws described the universe, until Einstein refined them with relativity. But even today, rockets to the moon and satellites in orbit still rely on Newton's equations. Motivational lesson. Newton's life teaches us Curiosity can turn an ordinary moment into a world-changing discovery. Isolation can be an opportunity for deep thinking. Even humble beginnings can lead to greatness. The apple may have fallen in Woolsthorpe, but its impact shook the entire universe.